chance to renew our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We do have a connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we need to renew our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Reflect our lives and grow spiritually. See, by preparing now, we can make the most of this precious month. We can unlock its blessings also. So, yeah, you can grab your notebooks, settle in, and let's get started. Let's dive deep into our session on understanding Ramadan, a month of blessings, inshallah. Now, coming to the significance of Ramadan. We'll start with the significance of Ramadan, because for valuing anything, you need to know the significance of that particular thing. Let me ask you something. What comes in your mind when you think about Ramadan? You just imagine something, right? When I say Ramadan is starting, whenever you think of Ramadan, some image comes to your mind, some things comes to your mind, say samosas and pakoras and chutneys. Other than that, what comes in your mind? Is it about fasting? Or is it about suhoor and iftar? Or is it about Tarawih prayers? Or do you get in your mind the joy of iftar with family? You get more family gatherings? Or you feel like I'll get more time to do recitation of Quran or something? Ramadan is indeed all of these, but it's also so much more. It is a month of spiritual renewal, forgiveness, and immense blessings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ramadan is not just another month. It's a month, in fact, we can say it's a month for us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen to send down his greatest gift to humanity, the Quran. Now, in this month, our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deepens, our heart softens, and our souls are cleansed. Definitely, when we say there is a spiritual renewal in ourselves, there is forgiveness that we do in this month of Ramadan, and we get that immense blessing of this month. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had told in Quran, الشهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. That means this month is connected with the Quran. The month of Ramadan is that in which Quran was revealed. Now this verse this ayah reminds us that Ramadan is not just about fasting. It's the month when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down his final message to guide humanity. That's Quran. Think about it. The Quran, which brings light to our lives and clarity to our hearts, was revealed in this very month. This makes Ramadan the month of the Quran. It's a time to reconnect with the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to recite them. We do recite in the month of Quran, in the month of Ramadan, lots of recitation of Quran. It reflects on the meaning. We work very hard to read the translation. Throughout the way, we don't get connected with the Quran. But then in the month of Ramadan, before the month, it's not exactly we should do it in the month of Ramadan, but we should prepare ourselves, give time to, prepare our soul, our timings, and everything should be adjusted so that when the month of Ramadan comes, you will be, in fact, peacefully doing all your activities that you had been practicing from now onwards. So it's a time to reconnect with the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to recite them, reflect on the meanings, and then let them transform us from within ourselves. Things should get transformed within ourselves. It's not just reading it. It's not just understanding it. It should be in our amal. Now, have you ever had a moment in your life, like when you felt lost or unsure of what to do? You didn't understand, like you were doubtful, like what should I do now? Now, the Quran was sent as a guide for such moments. It gives us answers. Whatever question you have, it has a solution for it. And it gives clarity about what we do now. How should we do? What should I do at this moment? Quran gives us clarity about it. And then it gives us strength also to navigate life's challenges. We do have challenges. We do have problems. Everybody has that. It's no one on this earth who is happy from all points of views. We do have problems, but where do we have the solution? The solution is in Quran. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, هُدًى لِلنَّاسِ وَبَيِّنَاتٍ مِّنَ الْهُدَى وَالْفُرْقَانِ. It's a guidance for the people and clear proofs of guidance and criterion. Now, during Ramadan, our hearts are naturally softer and more open to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, this particular month is a perfect time to build a deeper relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through Quran, because Quran is Kalamullah. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks to us, He solves our solutions. He has a solution that's there in Quran. Now, let us look what Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam told us. He said, إِذَا جَاءَ رَمَضَانُ, when Ramadan begins. It's such a blessed month, subhanallah. Now, Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam told that إِذَا جَاءَ رَمَضَانُ, when the month of Ramadan begins, فُتِحَتْ أَبْوَابُ الْجَنَّةِ, the gates of Jannah are opened. وَغُلِّقَتْ أَبْوَابُ النَّارِ, the gates of hellfire are closed. And then is the important thing. وَصُفِّدَتِ الشَّيَاطِينَ, and the devils are chained. Subhanallah. They won't come to disturb your ibadah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had chained them. Can you imagine? The moment Ramadan begins, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens the gates of paradise wide for us. The gates of hellfire are closed and the devils are chained. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy. He removes obstacles from our path so we can focus entirely on worship and good deeds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to do good deeds, and He Himself, stops all the things, all the distractions. Now, have you ever thought about how unique this month is? This Ramadan, the month of Ramadan, it's so unique, subhanallah. He removes, subhanahu wa ta'ala, first of all, He makes things easy for us. And then whatever good deeds you want, He'll make it easy for you. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes the distraction. When you want to do some good deed, you want to do tasbihat, you want to do, like a lot of dhikr, you want to recite, there are distractions. Shaitan is there because now he's chained. So you have good time for ibadah, for doing good deeds. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increases the blessings and He multiplies your rewards. It's not just you do once and it's written in your amal nama like that only. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala multiplies it 700 times and uncountable times. It has weight. Your amal will have weight. And Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam told, like, whoever fasts, man swama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban. Now, whoever fast during the month of Ramadan with faith and seeking reward. You should have faith, and also you should have the intention of seeking reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not that, okay, I'm fasting, I don't want any rewards. No, you should have, you should fast for seeking rewards. What happens with that? غُفِرَ لَهُ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِهِ. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will, subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive his past sins. So his past sins will be forgiven. What a beautiful opportunity. Ramadan is a chance to have our sins forgiven. We do sin. To sin is humane. But then this month is like, it's being there, it's a chance to have our sins forgiven. And then to start again, everything, to start fresh and to grow closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanallah. And then Ramadan is truly a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's so, once you start preparing for it, then you will realize from within yourself how beautiful a gift it is. It's a reminder of His love and mercy. Subhanallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had gifted you this month, and it's a reminder of His love and mercy. And then everything that we do in this month counts as as worship. Every breath we take in this month, every moment of hunger while fasting, and every extra rakah of prayer, it all counts as worship. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards us immensely for that. You know, let's let's see how blessed we are to witness Ramadan. Not everyone gets this opportunity. Subhanallah. Those who are dead, they are in the graves. They don't have the opportunity to fast, to get this blessed month. Subhanallah, we are alive. And we are very lucky to have this opportunity to fast in Ramadan or to get this month. Subhanallah. So let's make promise to ourselves today. This Ramadan, I'll give my heart completely to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'll seek His mercy and I'll try to become the best version of myself. We should, we have mobiles. Every time you say update, update, update. If you don't update, it will not work efficiently. Every electronic, you have laptop, you have mobile, or you have anything, it needs updates. Do we not need update of our iman as well? Of our version? Yesterday of mine was the older version, and today should be my new version. Another one, after 1 month, I should be another improved version of mine. As we move forward in our session, let's see, remember that Ramadan is more than just fasting and rituals. It's about reconnecting ourselves with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, purifying our hearts and striving to be better. So again, we'll dive deeper into how fasting helps us build taqwa and self-discipline. So that is what we'll be learning, inshallah. That's objectives of Ramadan in our segment 2. That's what all are the objectives of Ramadan. In this segment, we'll explore the objectives of Ramadan. Actually, Ramadan is not just about, basically it's a deep thing that we need to know about it. The deeper purpose behind this blessed month. What is this? See, we have everything when we do suhoor, when we do our sahari, or when we do our iftar, everything is there on our table. But are we getting the deeper purpose of this month? We'll explore now the objectives of Ramadan. Ramadan is not just about abstaining from food and drink. You do have everything. It's not that you are not eating anything in your fasting. It's not that you are abstaining from food and drink. It is a time to purify our hearts, renew our intentions. We do get detoxicated within ourselves. So it's a time to purify our hearts, renew our intentions. Basically to strengthen our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, this month is a golden opportunity to transform our spiritual. See, you are fasting, so you have got a chance to transform yourself. Okay? How do you transform yourself? How do you renew your intentions? This is the month. This is the month of upgradation. You upgrade your software. So, renew our intentions, transform our spiritual lives, and then emotional and social lives. When we are fasting, it's not just we are abstaining from food, but all these qualities we need to develop within ourselves. And what are the main goals? Now, this month is a golden opportunity, right? To transform our spiritual, emotional, and social lives. Now, let us break things and try to catch them up in short clips. Okay. What are the main goals of Ramadan? Actually, Ramadan has several beautiful objectives. Now, I'll just mention few of them. Like, say, for example, we need to strengthen our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ramadan is the month of Quran, du'as, and worship. Now, it helps us reconnect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and deepen our faith. How do we reconnect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? We do think, we need to think over it. We need to sit and ponder on our activities. And with that intention, that's how I wanted to first cover up the session with understanding Ramadan, how it should be understood. Like, we run after things, we try to do many things, and then we lose the essence of it. That essence is strengthening our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. and then purifying our hearts. Fasting is not just, as I told you, it's not about avoiding food. It's about cleansing our hearts from sins. We do sin, and when we sin, a black dot will come on our heart. So we need to cleanse our hearts from sins, bad habits, and then negativity as well. How much negativity we do have in our hearts for everyone, even for ourselves. We feel negative about ourselves. We get involved into bad habits throughout the year. Then this month is for purifying. It's like a washing machine. You put your clothes, if things do not get washed in your washing machine, you soak them overnight. Even then you put it in hot water. Put detergents, hot water. Even then, if it won't get clean, you just brush it up. So that's how is you do your cleansing of things when you have stubborn stains. So this month is for that. We have put a lot of stubborn stains on our heart for the entire year. This month will purify our hearts. And then building gratitude and patience. See, when we feel hunger during fasting, it teaches us to appreciate the countless blessings Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. Like food, yes, of course, food. And then you have water, especially the family. Subhanallah. We never have that gratitude that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given us such a beautiful tie with the family. We do. That's what I told you. We stain our heart with so many sins, bad habits, and negativity that we don't see those blessings Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given. So this is the month for building that gratitude and patience within ourselves. And then you have the increasing acts of kindness and charity. See, Ramadan is the perfect time to help others, whether by giving charity or by volunteering or simply being kind. You can be kind to people. You don't need money for that. You don't need effort for that. If you're physically sick, for example, you don't have that much of strength, at least you can be kind to others. Kindness doesn't need anything. Nabi alayhi told, like he was described as the most generous during Ramadan, and we are encouraged to follow his example. Subhanallah. Isn't it amazing how Ramadan isn't just about individual worship? What do we think? We do our worship, and women especially. We cook for the whole family, or we do all the works, and then we just get tired and we say, how much are we working? Nobody's caring for us. No, how is it possible? We are developing our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're doing service to others. It's all, it's the best chance. Increasing acts of kindness and charity. And then it's a time to build stronger bonds with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with our own selves and with our community, especially before the community comes our family. Subhanallah. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had also told that this month is for building taqwa. That's the consciousness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is looking at my deeds. One of the key objectives of Ramadan is to build taqwa, a sense of God consciousness. As we say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who have believed. Now fasting, you say, Kutiba alaykum as-siyam, wa kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum. Fasting is being prescribed upon you as it was prescribed upon those before you. It's not you who's fasting. This blessing was given to the earlier people as well. They eat sahur, and then they eat iftar. The procedure might be different for them, but for what? What is the reason for that? Why are we fasting? Kutiba alaykum as-siyamu kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum. The reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says here, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, that you may attain taqwa. That's God consciousness, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is looking at me. Subhanallah. Now see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us now that fasting is not just an act of worship. It's a means to develop taqwa. But what does taqwa mean? What is taqwa? If I would wish to explain it in a simple terminology or simple language, taqwa is the constant awareness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching us. He's looking what I'm doing, what I'm saying to others, what I'm having in my heart. Even though I talk to them softly and sweetly, but still I have grudge for them in my heart. I do carry so many grudges for people. with whom I talk very happily in front of them, in front of their faces. And I do have love for everything, for worldly things, for worldly acts. Taqwa is the constant awareness that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching us, is guiding us, and especially He is always with us. It's like having a compass in your heart, you know, that gives, that actually that helps you make right choices. You know, when the fast, when we all fast, actually what happens? We develop this awareness. Normally you do have that awareness, but that when you fast, we develop that, you know, that consciousness in ourselves, that awareness in ourselves, because we are consciously obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all throughout the day. So automatically we feel that awareness within ourselves. We resist food, even bad thoughts or actions. You know, we abstain from all those things, not only food. What happens? This will develop an awareness within ourselves. Now, say, think about like when you're fasting and no one is around you, okay? You might feel tempted to eat something. Of course, now we say, no, no, we don't feel because we are fasting. Some people might be there, you know, why are you, nobody's there in your house, you don't eat anything? Even if you're hungry, go and eat fruits, and chicken is there, mutton is there, you can eat, nobody's looking at you. Then why don't we eat? Even though we are hungry, even though we are thirsty. Because we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching us. I know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching me. And I want to please Him. That is taqwa in action. Choosing Allah all over my desires. Choosing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on all my desires of my heart, of my body, of my thoughts. You know, if we develop this habit, now then just imagine if we carry this sense of taqwa into every aspect of our lives, what will happen? It would shape how we speak, how we act, and how we treat others. When I get that awareness within me, when I have that feeling within me that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching me, He knows what I'm doing. In front of others, I may be very sweet and gentle, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what I have in my heart. That I'm constantly, like saying, if nobody's looking at me, I'll eat chicken, mutton, and fruits, but I'm not eating because just with the sense that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching me. He has asked me not to eat when I'm fasting. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had asked me not to hurt someone. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had asked me not to backbite, not to gossip, not to say bad things to others, not to hurt anybody. So if we are constantly conscious about what we are doing, our acts in our daily life, what will happen? This is the ultimate goal of fasting, to help us build a lifelong connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that guides everything we do. That guides everything we do. It's not just staying away from food. It's not just about doing your tarawih. It's not just about reciting Quran after Quran in the month of Ramadan. But it's about having a lifelong connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that guides everything we do. When we have a connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's like a compass in our heart. You know, the compass shows the direction of Qibla. The compass, navigator, you can say nowadays, you want to go anywhere, you just open the navigator, right? The Google Maps and the navigators, and you just go to the destination. So that consciousness, the taqwa, is like a navigator of your life. You won't do anything wrong. You're all the time aware and you're conscious that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching me. Ramadan is like a spiritual gym, if I can say. Why is it a spiritual gym? Because now, when we work hard for our body, we do exercises, we try to build up our muscles. Ramadan is like a spiritual gym for our hearts and souls. Every day as we fast, pray, okay? Every day, whenever we fast, or whenever we pray, or whenever we avoid negative actions, what's happening? It's not just something you're not doing, but that's actually strengthening our faith and building our taqwa. Even today, when you start the practice from now onwards, we always say, like, she's told me that, and I could have replied her, but I kept quiet. What's the use? What's the fun? What's the logic in that? I could have also replied her back. I could have also hurted her. When she hurted me, I could have also done the same thing to her. But I kept quiet. But what did I gain? What's the logic in keeping quiet? Next time she told me more than that. Another time she told me the worse than all other previous days. What did I gain? No. Did you not get anything? No. You have gained a lot. What did you gain? You have built as you do exercises. Today you did five the dumbbells 5 kg, 2 kg, 5 kg, 10 kg, 20 kg. As you're lifting the dumbbells, do you think first day when you lifted 2 kgs dumbbell, you couldn't lift 10 kgs dumbbells at that day? But then now some people who go to gym, they know they can lift as their muscles are built up or developed. They can take up heavier loads. What happened? Their muscles were built up. Same way, when today somebody told you something and you just kept quiet, for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have developed that taqwa in you. It has not gone in vain. It never ever an act of a moment goes in vain. So every day as we fast, we pray, and we avoid negative actions, we are strengthening our faith and building our taqwa. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam told that here, من لم يدع قول الزور والعمل به فليس لله حاجة في أن يدع طعامه وشرابه. What happened? Whoever does not give up false speech and evil deeds, من لم يدع قول الزور والعمل به, what will happen? فليس لله حاجة. Allah is not in need of what? His living food, his food and drink. في أن يدع طعامه وشرابه. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want you to leave your food or drink. If you do not give up false speech, like, you're lying all the time or you're doing evil deeds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want you to stay hungry. He wants to develop a taqwa in you. He wants a good relationship between you and him so that he can guide you. Now, this hadith Mubarakah reminds us that fasting is more than just avoiding food. It's about transforming our hearts and actions. Let's aim to make every moment of our fast meaningful and purposeful. So, as we fast this month, the coming Ramadan month, let's keep these objectives in mind. It's not just about the hunger. If you're hungry, it's okay. Sometimes doctors say not to eat for 24 hours. If you want to go for a surgery, they say don't eat for anything for so many hours, and you don't eat. Is it same like Ramadan? Or is it same like fasting, if not Ramadan? It means that it's about strengthening our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, purifying our hearts, and building habits of kindness, patience, and gratitude. Now, when I say Ramadan is an incredible opportunity to grow spiritually in the best version of ourselves, let's make the most of it together, inshallah. Now, when I want to say I want to develop something within me, I need to work hard on that. So, purification of the soul and discipline, how do you gain that? In this third segment, let's see on a deeper purpose of fasting. Okay, there is, as I told you, we will dive into the importance of understanding the month of Ramadan and understanding the purpose of fasting. So, let's go deeper and know the purpose of fasting. The purpose, main and deeper purpose, is purifying our souls and building self-discipline. So fasting is so much more than just staying away from food and drink. It's a powerful tool Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us to cleanse our hearts and refine our character. It's a way, we reset our spiritual state. You all have mobiles now. You can easily understand the terminologies I'm using. Reset factory settings, khalas, everything gone. You came back to all the factory settings. So we came up from a factory, and with a pure heart, pure soul, pure personality, refined personality. We never had that filthy things, negative thoughts, bad habits. These are all the adapted habits. Now our soul need to go to the factory setting, right? The built-up setting. We came into this dunya with that setting. Later on, we adapted so many things. So this month is a powerful tool. Fasting in the month of Ramadan as well as Rajab and Shaban. It's a powerful tool Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us to cleanse our hearts and to refine our character. Now, it is a way to reset our spiritual state, factory setting, back to factory setting. Leaving behind, what are we leaving behind? All the viruses, all the negativity, all the bad habits, and all the distractions that put us away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We forgot Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we got distracted, purely we have forgotten Him. Think about of this way, like just like our bodies need detoxing from unhealthy food, okay? We our souls also need detoxification, our hearts and souls, you know. So how to detoxify from sins and bad habits? Ramadan is that detox, a spiritual cleanse for our souls. Okay. Now, when I say how fasting purifies the soul, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has destined fasting to purify us from within. You know, nowadays doctors are saying do intermittent fasting for the cleansing of the body, for detoxification of the body. Subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has gone beyond that and He said, detoxify your soul, your heart. It's not just detoxifying your body, it's detoxifying your soul. Subhanallah. So when we fast, we intentionally pause and focus on what truly matters. A connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Here's how fasting helps cleanse our souls. So concept of fasting beyond food. Now let's see what happens is when you fast, see, you know, sea water is never impure because of two things: high quantity of salt and the movement in the sea. The waves are there in the sea, it cleanses it. It keeps it clean all time. Same way, fasting is there to cleanse our hearts and refine our character. Subhanallah. Now see here, how fasting purifies our soul, as I told you. It removes the distractions. And then it builds a conscious heart within ourselves. And subhanallah, it teaches gratitude. Now, how does it remove the distractions? Fasting helps us step away from worldly distractions, whether it is food or social media or negative influences. We have everything all around us. We have social media, we have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have WhatsApp, we have YouTube, all sorts of social media. And these are all the distractions. Distractions to keep yourself busy. Don't stay free. Don't think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't think about akhirah. Don't think about your amal. Why did we come into this dunya? Don't think about it. Just stay busy. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes all those distractions. It shifts our attention to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and reminds us of our purpose. Why did we come into this dunya? When you are fasting, that's a source. That is the reason why we say fasting purifies the soul, because it removes the distraction from us. And it builds a conscious heart. When we fast, we become more mindful of our thoughts and actions. We don't do, if we get bad thoughts, we just close the gate of the bad thoughts. We start to notice behaviors like anger, impatience, or laziness. If you're too lazy at the time of Sahar, you get up. You do your tahajjud in the month of Ramadan. You recite more of the Quran. Even if you feel lazy, you say, no, I have to recite this one. I have to complete this juz of mine. I have to complete this dua. I have to complete all this azkar. And fasting gives us the strength to correct them. If we are having any bad qualities, fasting helps us to correct them. All those bad things that we have. And then it teaches gratitude. How does it teach us gratitude? Shukr. Now, fasting reminds us of the blessings we often take for granted. What all blessings we have that we take it for granted. Everything. First of all, our own personality. We have eyes, nose, tongue, hands, legs, everything. We take it for granted. Okay, I do have it. We have house, we have food, we have children, we have n number of things we have. All the ni'mah, all the ni'mah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, all the blessings Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given you. and we take it for granted. And we think we are so pious, and Allah had given us to because we are good. We had always been obedient. And whatnot, whatever you wish, you think about yourself. But then we take things for granted. Fasting reminds us of the blessings we often take for granted, like say sip of water. How many times you drink water in the day? But when you're fasting, you don't. So that is the you will develop that gratitude within it, within yourself. For all the blessings Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had granted you. A bite of bread, you know. How many times you eat daily without any stop at your tongue? This sense of gratitude cleanses our hearts from greed and ingratitude. Do you realize that these actions or these deeds cleanse your soul and your heart? Subhanallah. That's done when you're fasting. And these are all things are automatically happening. You're going back to factory setting. So you don't have to do anything. Automatically is being done. What you have to do is these things. Stay away from these. And that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do it for you. You're not doing anything, in fact. Now, like say for example, self-discipline. How do we get back to self-discipline? Through fasting. As I've told you, it purifies your heart. Like say, purifying your soul through fasting, you understood that. But how do you develop self-discipline through fasting? That's an important thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designed fasting that to purify your soul as well as to discipline yourself. Now, let's look at how fasting teaches us self-discipline through everyday actions. See, imagine you're fasting and someone says something that annoys you. Instead of snapping back, what will you do? You pause, you take a breath, and remind yourself that you're fasting, right? So that has developed within yourself, you've developed a control. So by doing this, you're practicing patience and self-control. All time, every time, whenever you're fasting. So if one of you is fasting, Nabi Alayhi told, if one of you is fasting, he should avoid relation with his wife and quarreling. And if somebody should fight or quarrel with him, he should say, I'm fasting. I'm fasting. Ana sa'imun. So if I'm fasting, that means you will not do anything bad when you're fasting. So it's all restricted for you. Now then you overcome bad habits. How do you overcome bad habits? During Ramadan, okay, during Ramadan, what happens is we avoid things like gossiping, backbiting, time waste on Instagram, WhatsApp, YouTube, TikTok, and I don't know what all. So this creates an opportunity to replace these habits with what? What do we do in the month of Ramadan? We make a lot of dhikr, we make Quran recitation, we do lots of acts of kindness. And then the main thing is strengthening gratitude. When you break your fast, after a long day, you feel immense gratitude for the simplest blessings. Remember the summer days of Ramadan? Whenever you break the fast, you drink 2 glasses, 3 glasses of water, or some juice, or ruh afza, or whichever is the, cold drinks, anything, juices. And you say, oh, alhamdulillah. No, I don't want anything other than just cold water. Subhanallah. So simplest blessings, water or any food, or you're just sitting with the family. This gratitude purifies your heart and it strengthens your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. See, let's pause and think. What are some things that you want really, actually, you want to go off for this Ramadan? You just want to cleanse yourself from all those things. Is it anger? Is it laziness? Or is it distractions? And we are, what all good habits that you want to build within yourself. Take a moment to reflect on this. And if you are comfortable, write it down in your journal. Make a journal. I'll today, inshallah, show you how to make a journal so that you can write all those things and improve yourself. Nobody's coming to improve you. Nobody on this earth will work on your personality. How should you improve? Because you know the flaws that you have within your personality. Nobody else can say. And suppose by mistake somebody says, we go try to defend ourselves or fight with them. How dare you say these things to me? Do you think I'm like that? No, subhanallah. That's how insan is. So when we purify our hearts through fasting, we become better versions of ourselves. Now our thoughts become clearer, our intentions become purer, and our actions align with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's commands. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. He has succeeded who purifies it. I mean the soul. Who has succeeded in this dunya? قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا. He has succeeded who purifies his soul. This purification doesn't end with Ramadan. It becomes a foundation for how we live the rest of the year. It teaches us to prioritize what pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to let go of what doesn't. We need to work on ourselves. Fasting is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a way to detox our souls. Nowadays, people are taking too many measures to detoxify liver, detox your stomach, detox your all the organs, kidneys. But do we ever think like we need to detox our soul as well? Strengthen our discipline and grow closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? This is the time to think over it. Let's use this Ramadan as an opportunity to cleanse our hearts and build habits that bring us lasting peace and happiness. Remember, every time you resist anger, control your tongue, okay? Whenever you do, okay, let me just, whenever you control your anger or control your tongue or show gratitude, you are purifying your soul and earning rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's embrace this beautiful journey of self-improvement with open hearts. Subhanallah. Now, anytime we do sabr for someone who has done something wrong to you, don't ever think that your sabr had gone in vain. We do say it repeatedly. What did I gain in my life? What did I get? I had done so much of sabr. People have been torturing me. They've been doing this, that. We had a big list. What did I gain after all those years crying and suffering and gaining pain and doing so? We have a good life book. Turning the pages, all are brown and black and torn pages of life. Do we ever realize what we gained out of that? We have purified our soul. Our perspective was wrong, that's why we couldn't see that. Every time we resist anger, every time we control our tongue, every time we show gratitude, every time we do some good deed, we purify our soul. We earn rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's embrace this month, inshallah. And now we'll be seeing about the niyyah. Okay, inshallah. So how does intention matters? Let us see just dive into the introduction to niyyah. إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Actions are judged by intentions. So we are going to do something very special and personal, setting our intentions for Ramadan. Let's start by understanding the importance of niyyah, intention. Now, every act of worship in Islam begins with a pure intention. Your intention matters a lot. Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam told, this means that even a simple act that become an act of worship if it's done for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without riyah. Like say for example, if you cook for your family with the intention of earning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's pleasure, it becomes an act of ibadah. And similarly, when we set pure intentions for Ramadan, every prayer, every fast, every good deed is multiplied in rewards. Subhanallah. So now, let's take a few moments to reflect. I'll give you an activity. All of you, whoever are there in the session, close your eyes for a moment. Literally close your eyes as an activity. Close your eyes and ask yourself. And I'll be asking the question. Don't open your eyes until I say you. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what do I want to achieve this Ramadan? Ask yourself, what do I want to achieve this Ramadan? Like say, you can ask yourself, how can I improve my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala this Ramadan? Keep your eyes closed and ask yourself. Try to get the answers from yourself. How can I improve my relationship with Allah this Ramadan? What habits do I want to build? Ask yourself, let yourself answer you. What helps or what habits do I want to build? Or what bad habits do I want to leave behind? Keep your eyes closed. Ask yourself, what bad habits do I want to leave behind? I know, your soul will answer you because you are the best judge for yourself. You don't need anybody else. How can I help others and bring joy to my community, especially your family, your close kins? Ask yourself. You'll have the answer for that. I'm sure all of you might have got answers for your questions, whatever question you've asked yourself. Now take your book or a piece of paper and write down your intentions. Now see, don't worry about making things perfect. Nobody's perfect over here. We all are human beings. We are not perfect. It's between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like say, for example, somebody might have thought like, I'll increase more of the Quran recitation in this month. Let's say commit to reading one juz every day or even a few verses consistently. Or you might have thought within yourself that I'll pray all sunnah prayers daily. Or if somebody is doing farz and sunnah, then they may intend for doing nafil, say tahajjud and salatul duha and 4 rakah before asr and salatul awabin. They can intend for nawafil as well. Or you might have asked yourself, help someone in need, like it could be a neighbor, a family member, or even a stranger. See, these intentions are very personal. In even small steps count because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala values what you think. Whatever you've made within your heart, start working on that. See, you can share your intentions if you want in the group to the admin. You can share, she'll post it in the group. Or you can write here as well, anything that you would like to share. Sharing your goals can inspire others and spark ideas of their own intentions. If you have made any intentions, you can share in the chat over here. All other members will also get opportunity to share their chats or their intentions. Like say, for example, someone might have thought like, I want to dedicate more time to understanding the Quran in this Ramadan by reading its translation and tafsir. Make an intention and try to work on that. Like, for example, somebody might have thought like, I'll be learning masail of my daily life. Somebody might have made an intention that my salat or my namaz, the procedure I do pray, is the old version of the one that I learned when I was a child. I would improve my prayers. I would learn all the entire correct procedure of doing wudu and doing ghusl and then praying 5 times. What do I recite in my prayers? How do I recite? Do I really know the meanings of all the surah? And what all I recite, I should know the meanings of them. Then I'll be more attached to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through my prayers, because that's how we do. 5 times daily we pray. So somebody might have made an intention that you will learn prayers. Somebody might have made an intention that you will learn fiqh, masail of daily life, like how to take baths, the sunnah and the farz and the mustahabat and wajibat, what all are there in your ghusl, in your wudu, in your daily life. How should you be with your friends? How should you be with your husbands? What are the hukuk of farais and hukuk of my siblings or people around me? Make a list of all those things and try to work out on them until you get back to your next Ramadan. This Ramadan, okay, start making intentions, start learning, and you have full 1 year after Ramadan. Keep on working on that and see to it that next Ramadan, when we meet over here, you can have a newer version of yourself. Last Ramadan, I made all these intentions. Now achieved these intentions, the older ones. I'll be planning for new intentions, inshallah. Like say, I feel it's really amazing how writing down our intentions make them feel more real and achievable. If you write your intentions, You can achieve them slowly and steadily, one step by step. Let it be a small step towards it. For example, today you have made an intention that I'll learn the translation of Surah Fatiha. Because I'm reciting it in Quran, I'll try to learn all the meanings of Subhana Rabbi al Azim, Subhana Rabbi al Ala, Allahu Akbar, whatever I recite in Quran, I will learn the meanings of them. And I will learn the meanings of Surah Fatiha in small surah. If you know few small surahs, then you made an intention that you will try to learn by heart bigger ones. In daily or in the entire month, if you are able to learn one ayat, subhanallah, that's an achievement. Because because you're not showing your new version to the entire dunya. That's between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Keep this list close to you. You know, these intentions are like seeds. We plant them now, and with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help, they will grow into beautiful rewards. They'll grow into beautiful rewards, inshallah, during month of Ramadan and beyond that. Now keep this list close to you. Review it every day during Ramadan and, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for strength to fulfill your goals. Remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us and He loves your effort. And even small, consistent actions are beloved to Him. Now I'll show you how to make a journal for the month of Ramadan. Now that you have set up your intentions for Ramadan, let's move on to something practical and exciting. That's creating a Ramadan journal. You know, a Ramadan journal is a beautiful way to keep track of your progress, reflect on your spiritual journey, and stay motivated throughout the month. It's not just a notebook, you know, it's your companion in making the most of this blessed month and after that as well. Imagine being able to look back at your journal after Ramadan and see all the ways you grew closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wouldn't that be amazing? You know, you wrote something and you've achieved those goals. Subhanallah. You'll feel happy. Oh, I've wrote all those things and now I've achieved all those things. So why should we keep a Ramadan journal? See, here are 3 key reasons I'm giving you. One is to track your progress. Now, it helps you stay consistent with your goals, like your prayer, salah, or Quran recitation and dhikr. Make a target that I'll be doing this much and work out on that. Do not burden yourself. Just make few small targets that's achievable. Then it will reflect on your growth. A journal allows you to know the lessons you learn each day and identify areas of improvement. Did you improve yourself, or you were the same older version of yourself? And then stay motivated. Writing down your achievements, let it be big or small. Keep you inspired to continue your good deeds. If you have never kept a journal before, don't worry. I'll guide you step by step, like how to create one that's simple. No, don't make it too complicated. Do not overburden yourself. It should be a meaningful and easy to use. Okay. Now, let's say easiest ways. Like say take a notebook, or if you prefer, like create a digital journal if you have on your phone or computer. Divide your journal to 3 key sections, like your daily goals. Okay, this section is for your spiritual practices. Write down daily check boxes like salah. Did you pray all 5 prayers on time? Quran, like say for example, how much did you recite or reflect today? And then you have dhikr, like did you take few moments to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through tasbih? Okay, then you keep your deed, like say good deeds tracker in your journal. Make 3 sections. Like say Ramadan is a month of generosity and kindness, so use this section to record your acts of charity, like helping someone in need, donating to charity, spreading joy through a kind word or deed. We think it's a small thing, but subhanallah, it's a very valuable thing. And then you have like reflections. For example, at the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? How did I feel closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? What can I improve for tomorrow? You know, like say, simple example of how you can organize your journal is like say day one, for example, you're setting daily goals, just write Salah, Quran, and then just tick them. Okay. And then say Quran, how many juz you have done, and then zikr, subhanallah 100 times. Or however, just set small targets. And then you have good deeds. Say, for example, whatever good deeds, help a neighbor for groceries, donated a food drive to a food drive or something, whatever you do, that's in your reach. And then reflections like say lesson, gratitude for food when breaking my fast. This is the lesson I learned today. Or improvement, stay more focused during Taraweeh. Now, whatever is your reflection, you can write. That's between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you can add colors, you can add stickers, you can add Islamic quotes, whatever inspires you. That's your book. You can do anything. And tips for maintaining your journal? Yes. Here are some more tips, to stay or help you stay consistent with your Ramadan journal. Like keep it simple, first of all. Do not overcomplicate it. Focus on the essentials first. And then the second point is make it a habit. Okay. Every time you do something good, choose a specific time each day to fill in your journal, like after Isha or before Suhoor, and then review regularly. At the end of each week, review your journal to see your progress and celebrate your achievements. Yes, you can celebrate. Subhanallah. You must celebrate your achievement. If you have achieved, say Subhanallah, you've told like I'll recite 100 times Subhanallah daily for 7 days. And by the end of the seventh day, you check your journal. If you have really done those things, achieve yourself. You need to celebrate your achievements, Subhanallah. So with this, we end our session. I think we have crossed our time today. So Ramadan journal is a tool for growth, reflection, and connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not about being perfect. It's about making an effort and staying sincere in your journey. Like I encourage each one of you to start your journal today itself. Write down your intentions, plan your goals, and make this Ramadan a truly transformative journey. Remember, every small step you take is really precious in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, let's get ready for the next segment where we'll explore more practical ways to organize your Ramadan for maximum productivity, inshallah, in our next class. So stay tuned and stay connected with us. And inshallah, share your link with your friends and circle, whoever are there, your relatives and friends, so that they can also take a benefit of this one. And we'll end the session with the dua. Allahumma ballighna Ramadana wa taqabbal minna siyamana wa qiyamana wa ja'alna min al-muttaqeen. Oh Allah, allow us to witness Ramadan, accept our fasting and prayers, and make us among the righteous people. And we have run short. Allahumma ja'al hadha Ramadana khayran lana waghfir dhunubana warzuqna at-taqwa. Oh Allah, make this Ramadan the best for us. Forgive our sins and grant us taqwa.